And my knees were up here. He's like a squat.
Let me see on YouTube.
I'm getting a skin suit for next year.
Yeah, I'm gonna get another one.
14th, is the 14th going to be good for that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, to order? Yeah, I could order tonight.
Jack,
Really?
you can get anything more?
I want a black jersey. I got a
I might get.
I got a thermal jacket. Last
I
time.
didn't.
Black.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got just the jersey. There's a jacket and a jersey.
You want the long sleeve jersey?
I want the long sleeve black.
Yeah. Okay.
We should have a short sleeve black. We should just go, But anyway,
Just all black. Well,
All
we're designing a new one next year.
Yeah.
Notice I'm being vague.
Yeah.
I may.
That's why I don't think I'm gonna get any new kit this year.
Yeah.
Because if we design something new,
I plan on using mine, especially a skin suit. I'm
Yeah.
doing crits.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've got,
gonna show up
I've
to
got
the-
two fucking skin suits.
I'm
I've
showing
got
up to
two.
the Thursday night with a skin suit. I'm telling you right now, I'll be that guy.
Yeah.
Arrow socks and all.
Everybody does.
It's a race.
I'm just.
Yeah.
Well, I
checking
plan
that
on
we're
having
live, Jay.
two because
I already did.
I have like
You did?
Yeah.
drowning
We
pool bodies. That song.
Yeah.
Let the bodies hit the floor. Nothing's wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with me. Something's
Great
got
song.
to give. Something's got to
Great
give.
song.
Yeah, well, I know it.
That's my crit song. Shooting the gaps.
Mine is the Win by whatchamacallit. God, what's that song?
Carpenters.
No. It's a rap song. It was in the Legion brothers played it. All I do is win.
So
Nice.
All I do is win. That one?
Nope.
Yeah, you would like that song.
All I do is get last.
All I do is lead out too early.
Get drop.
Yep.
Yeah.
OTB.
Mine's Bette Midler's "You Are the Wind Beneath My Wings."
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's just how I feel.
You're fucking weird.
Where are you going?
I have my beer.
Oh, you're waiting
you're
for the
still doing
foam
that,
to die down because you don't know how to pour beer. Before we let's start with, you know what? I love that I start talking immediately after somebody swears so I don't edit it out. Before we begin, let's throw some thanks and sponsor mentions. Hey, everybody. Ambassador Cycling, people. That's right. This is the time that gets dialed in, especially when you spend so much time seated on your bike indoors. You know that small ache that hits you when you're outside gets a lot fucking worse when you're stuck on a stationary bike. I swore during an ad read. I'm really sorry, Sam. Get to ambassadorcycling.com today. Book some time to get properly fit before you hurt yourself. Untapped maple, people. Did you know that the untapped salted raspberry is absolutely brilliant on pancakes? I know this is the same read from last week, but I didn't have time to write a new one. Or that the stroopwafels are delicious with your morning coffee. Be sure to check out all the great offerings that Untapped Maple has to offer. Click the link at packfiller.com. And for the final time this November, I am going to be saying the Movember Foundation, people. It is November, at least while we're recording this show. Be sure and check out our efforts to help the fight to end prostate cancer through growing of facial hair. Lastly, let's throw out a new one, shall we? Once again, I fucked up the read already. I should not. POC Sports, people.
You're batting 1,000.
I'd like to know where the name POC came from. POC.
I think it's an
I think it
acronym,
stands for
isn't it?
something. Yeah.
Well, there's one acronym that's person of color, but that's not.
Yeah,
No,
that's not it at all. Scandinavian.
It's
anything but
Swedish, right?
Person
Yeah,
of
Swedish.
lack
Yeah.
of color.
Yeah. They're on board to keep us covered. POC Cycling Collection includes helmets and apparel, as well as gloves and accessories for both men and women, and has developed perfectly balanced performance and protection. By the way, I say accessories. Please say nobody at this bar says accessories. Okay, because that would be criminal.
It's almost as wrong as aluminium.
Or like catsup.
Well, that's a British thing.
Catsup.
Aluminium.
You ever hear anybody
wrong.
call ketchup
Catsup?
The
catsup?
laboratory.
Catsup.
No.
Oh,
Fuck's wrong with
makes you
you?
want to throw
Okay,
up.
wait,
It's not
wait,
me.
wait. We're getting into this.
It's an
How
old
do you-
babysitter.
How would you say EXIT?
Exit.
Thank you. There are not eggs at this exit. It's not exit.
Exit.
Everybody says that, and that's not right. Not everybody.
Fucker, try
I knew you were
OFTEN.
gonna bring that up.
Often.
No! Wrong!
It is a silent T, I think. But
It is a silent T.
often.
Or how do you say?
but I don't. I mean,
Let Jackson.
Really? It's
How do you
often.
say the month of love?
Yeah. Great one.
I say
February.
February.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Wrong.
February.
Wrong.
February.
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 Oh, fuck
February.
That's how it's spelled.
Bullshit though. That's,
This is that
so what's the
word
difference
scramble.
between often and February?
Fucking proper English.
Jeez. Well, how do you say Qatar?
Oh,
I actually been saying
Nope.
Qatar
No,
lately.
it's not. It's I
Qatar.
think they're. If you ask Siri, it's Qatar or Qatar.
Oh, Siri
Yeah.
fucking
Or the
knows.
Google.
okay.
Yeah.
I've just had people who have been stationed over there that say everybody pronounces it over there.
Yeah, we blowing
Qatar.
Paul's ears out.
But then it's
So basically, if
Better?
anybody thinks that the English language is properly spoken by even people that live in America, they're woefully wrong. I mean, add Southern dialect to any.
Can I call attention to the fact that that last sentence almost looked like you had a stroke trying to get it out?
I need more,
Well, I
more
typed
alcohol.
I typed these show notes whilst watching the World Cup, and it got me thinking. What would cycling be like if we just randomly fell off every time somebody bumped us? Think of the carnage. Think of it. It's just like I mean a sprint.
yeah.
The Williams
It hurt.
brothers would fall a lot. I bet.
You guys don't get it. It's okay.
No, I love it. It was freaking beautiful tournament. But the falling makes me angry.
Yeah.
Well, thank God we don't. Thank God the show is about cycling, and thank God it's Tuesday and the beverages are poured, and we are live in the Rim Break Bar right here on YouTube. This is the Packfiller Podcast, and I took the entire intro to get that far into the show. Full house yet again tonight, yet we can see if we can rein these cats in a bit. Gentlemen, to begin, let's ask the icebreaker, shall we? What's the story? A brief story. Looking at you, Jack. Behind one of your scars. A story behind one of your scars.
Good. Yeah.
I'm giving Paul a couple seconds to
I
think
already
about it
have
because he's got it.
You got
Okay,
no scars.
Paul getting
Tons of
scars.
Which one?
Yeah,
I have more than tattoos. I got.
I hear you have a practice wife. There's scars.
Mary-
practice wife.
I got a
Mary
couple.
Kate, she broke my
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah.
That's from Jaws or something like that. First of all, he's the guy who I believe this year will be the next year, Mr. Paul Main. This is
I
not
live
going to
in-
be the next year. This is going to be
This is going to be the year of
the
Paul.
next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
The year
of
of Paul.
You're Paul.
Because we're all going to
That's
Masters
awesome.
National.
Yeah, that's right. They haven't determined where it's
You're
at.
not. You're not a master yet.
No.
Unfortunately.
Paul, tell me a quick story behind one of your scars.
Yeah, I've had it since, and it's a bike one. I was 8 years old, and I, lived out in a farm.
Yeah.
And borrowed a friend's Stingray and hit some loose gravel, buried a knee in it, and it's still there. And I've got chunks of gravel in it. It's in my left
Still
knee.
in there.
And yeah, it's some of my scars from racing have disappeared. I had the country of Italy scar when I crashed at Manitou.
From all those, yeah.
And then I still have a keloid scar that went down on my shoulder where, my collarbone's up here when I crashed and broke my collarbone and separated my AC joint. But the best one is the oldest one.
The oldest one.
Right
on
there.
a Stingray.
Yeah, on a Stingray. Stingrays are stupid.
He gets 2. I get 2.
No, you
I didn't tell the stories on the other one.
Jack,
Yeah,
you're gonna, but he says 2 in like 48 seconds. You say 2 in like 48 days. Next, he's the guy who I can't look at the same now that I know he's a vegetarian, Mr. Sam Waples.
Oh,
I'm not even looking you in the fucking eye.
I
right
think
now.
he eats what he wants, though.
I'm a choicetarian.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I can look you in the eye.
Yeah, I think the best one is definitely the Maui scar from last year.
That's
And going
good.
over the guardrail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You needed Chloe.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Man, I was looking back on her scar. Hers is so much worse. Hers was gruesome. I mean, mine was bad, but that was awful.
Well, I love you to death, but she was probably going faster.
She was going faster for sure, and she went straight into a guardrail. I just slid along it. Yeah, I would say it was that. That
Okay.
would have to be the worst on my
All
forearm.
right. Third, he's the guy who I bet while riding this, and I did bet while riding this, but it's just because he showed up too late that he would be the first to give me shit about not shoveling the driveway. Mr. Jack Broadhead, how are you, man? Welcome. We get you at like random intervals. It's just like your payoff with a slot machine. It's just like I pull enough, and all of a sudden he shows up.
Jack shows up.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually drove over specifically for the podcast.
You lie like a rock.
yeah.
It's actually, this is the last 2 times I've been on, I've driven into town to go to the podcast, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, like it's Tuesday. I got to hurry.
Holy shit! Thank you for your sacrifice.
It's terrible roads today. I mean,
It
the
is.
fuel mileage was
It is,
better,
yeah.
but
We're about to get hit. We're about to get hit with a foot of snow. I don't know what that is in centimeters for you over the pond, but it's a lot. Jack, tell me about a scar.
Sandpoint crit as a senior, and so this was, it was the last lap, and you're trying to go from 10th to 1st in the second corner, and I have the scar right here on my ass.
Don't.
You see that?
I'm blind.
And some butt lint too. Thanks, Jesus.
It's
got
something that
it's right on him.
Yeah.
every
The
significant
tramp stamp.
other has asked me about.
What are they doing?
Well, I mean, so I had stitches.
I can't. Whew. This is a professional podcast, guys.
What would be the ultimate cycling tramp stamp? I mean, just
Dink mark. A dink mark?
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, a
actually,
scarf.
I was
or tramp
thinking of
stamp
a
would be
logo
cool.
of a company, but that's actually the perfect one. That might be. good.
I would,
Like you
I would
ran
do
over?
a campy, they had a little shield in the quick relief
Yeah,
wing.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
would be cool.
But
Yeah.
that's just so pretty. I was thinking dink mark like you were run over,
Yeah.
Grease left behind.
Yeah, a tire track or something like
Chain ring mark.
Oh my God! The spray that you get up the butt on a wet day.
that. Oh, back
Oh,
spackle.
just-
that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Originating from the crack.
Yeah.
Wow. So you ride naked, get the spray, go into your tattoo artist and say, just start
Copy that.
inking.
And he asks you if you took an explosive shit.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And it went upwards.
Next, he's the guy who genuinely doesn't give a shit about what beer is on tap here or pretty much anywhere. Mr. Jackson Bolger, how are you, man?
Doing well, thanks.
I love it. You're just straight to the point. You're just you don't even go like, oh yeah. So I was gonna say, fuck this, blah 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 blah. You're like, good. Now I'll talk about this question.
Well, I've
You
been
get to
thinking
the
about.
point.
Well, I've been
I
thinking
like
about this question for the past
Plenty of
however
time,
time. I haven't listened to
5
any of you
minutes,
guys.
right.
by
10
the way,
minutes.
So
It's
it. 10 minutes. Yeah.
been disgusting.
yeah. I'm trying to think. I have so many scars. Let's see. I have one on one of my two knees. Both are pretty destroyed.
Easy one. Yeah.
From when I was pretty young, I was like playing baseball with a plastic bat, and I slid to try and get there. And I mean, I was playing by myself. I'm an only child, so
He's competitive.
yeah. I was. I've always been competitive, but
I thought this was a bike race one.
No, it doesn't have nothing to do with
Oh,
it.
sorry.
And just guys
So
about
sorry.
scars,
So
Jack.
fucking sorry.
Shut the fuck up
Yeah.
before I mute you.
Drink my rye.
I went in. I went inside of the bat though with my leg, and
Yeah.
exited. So yeah, it's always been there since I was I think 6
You
years
have
old.
gravel in your kneecap too.
I do.
Right? Yeah.
I have a lot. I even have lead from getting stabbed in the 8th grade in my left arm. So
Holy
Pencil.
cow.
Pencil.
We have gravel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I have lead in my ass because
You
in
do?
3rd grade, some guy thought it was funny to set a pencil down, and I
Oh,
sat down and it
fuck.
broke off. Yeah. I got
Did
a
you
little.
center it?
No, he missed the.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I have it
That
in
would
my
have perforated
thigh.
bowel. That would be
Basketball.
really bad.
Why would you
Leads
ask
up at
that question?
basketball.
Jack, why would you ask that question?
Well, I'm just curious.
Of all the things,
No, but,
I mean, you could have commiserated.
skipped
You could have
over.
gone. You could have
We
said.
have something in common.
You could have said.
Yeah, we do.
Ow.
Okay.
You could have said, "Oh my God, that must have been horrible for you."
but
You asked if it's centered. Me, I'm the guy who overcooked the turkey. I'm
Oh.
Pat Bulger.
Sorry.
I did. I
Hammer.
overcooked the fucking turkey.
Better than under.
And my best one is I have a lot of scars, but like you said, Paul, the hip ones have gone away from all the crit racing days in the year. But this one right on the underside of my chin, I thought I'd be cool and show off for some girls at the pool back in the day, and I jumped in backwards, and my chin just went bam right on the edge of the pool.
Did you bite your tongue off?
Yes, I did, Jack. No, I didn't. God, I love it when you show up. But I reopened it when I was riding to work. I worked at Wheel Sport Bike Shop, and I was riding to work, and I looked behind me to change lanes, and a car stopped, and I went right back into the back of the car and face first into the trunk of it. I mean, the back of it, and I reopened that very scar. So that's my scar into the chin. So it does have something to do with cycling.
Stitches.
Yeah, both times.
Me
Both times.
too.
Did you? Yeah. I remember, Jack, we had a teammate once who got stitches somewhere because he was admiring how shiny his hubs were. It was one of the Franzen boys, I think. He was like, "Oh my God, my hubs are
Matt?
so shiny." No, James, I think his brother. And he ran into a car. Park car. Anybody ever done that? Ran into a
Oh
park car?
God,
Not
you're
a park
reminding
one.
me of. Yeah, I did that as a kid, talking with a friend. Fortunately, it was a truck, and fortunately, the bed was open. And
Yeah.
I just hit it and just slid into the back of the
Well,
truck bed.
yeah.
And I didn't even know it hit me. I was like,
A boo.
and I get up, I'm like, did anybody see that? I'm like probably in 4th grade. at the
Oh,
time.
okay.
Like so embarrassed.
How about the car door thing? Anybody had the person
Mm-hmm.
open the car door? I had a woman do it. She was, I don't mean to be sexist, but it was a woman, so it's not sexist. I'm just, why did I call attention to it? I don't know. People give me shit online.
It wasn't weird, but now it is.
Yeah. This woman, she was at a yard sale and she opened her door right when I was coming by, and it clipped me. Fortunately, I didn't go full bore into it, but it clipped me, and it.
You know what they teach you in driving school
You're gonna
in
say
Denmark?
the-
No,
the-
this is what
yeah.
they do in
The
Denmark.
Dutch look.
Yeah, you have to open the door with your right. It causes you to
Yeah.
Look
turn.
back.
Your right hand.
Yeah,
Yeah. Church. Yeah.
You have to look and see.
I knew you were gonna pull a Euro card and make us look bad.
So
Americans
I had
don't.
I had a young friend growing up in the BMX days that reached down to like check to see if he'd put a rear wheel on, check to see if his chain while riding was loose or tight, and he fucking rode 2 fingers, if not 3, into his front chain ring. On a BMX bike, there's no
can't
derailleur.
There's no derailleur. There's no tension adjust.
He rode it in, and you can't go back. Like, I mean, he
Right,
couldn't
all
go
the
back.
way.
I
Coaster
guess-
brake or something?
No, I think it was freewheel, but I think he just fell over, and we had to But it's tight. I mean, it was ugh.
1/8-inch pitch
Ugly.
instead of a 5/32.
It was.
So at least it's a 1/8 pitch. It's a little.
You
bigger.
guys talking about hitting cars reminded me of that. That was a horrible thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Brought chills to my spine just talking about it. So. Okay.
That's bad.
We're scarred.
2 quick questions. How was your Thanksgiving? And did you get any saddle time? Anybody?
Not outside.
Sam, he held
And
up
I
2
did
fingers.
outside just to spite you.
Yeah.
You got 2 rides in this week?
I did 4 rides this week.
Fucking
Sweet.
Outside.
You made it. You
I did
made it
one
for
ride outside.
All of us.
Okay,
There's
that's all that counts.
5,
Yeah.
So you had 1 ride and then the rest training.
Don't do that. Paul, I need something here. I'm not going to keep up with Sam, but I need something here. So, okay. And
The
you
ride
got one
outside was only a 2.5 mile ride with Gus. So like, check it on Strava. It was slow, and it's icy, super dangerous.
But you put on everything.
It was cold.
You got your heart rate up, putting on your shoe covers, everything. Wow. Okay. I think you're going to lead. Paul, did you ride?
I probably had 4 indoor training rides. but-
4. Jeez.
Yeah.
But they don't count.
They're training, but they're not counting as rides. It's not a
ri-
bike
oh,
ride.
You did say indoor
said
training,
training
rides.
rides.
You did. I just
you
wanna
did
call
do
you out
that,
on
which I
Yeah.
got ripped a new one for.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
But it's not a true ride.
Jack, what did you
No.
do outside of the turkey
I
trot?
had family. I had like 18 at Thanksgiving.
Did you turkey trot?
I had like 3-mile run, but not 13. I heard. No,
You
I didn't do
ran-
it. I did
Well,
not do
well.
a turkey half marathon.
Well, that's just
you
an-
mentioned that.
Well, that's just an testament about how fit and strong of a man you are,
much
Jack.
appreciated.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
Yeah.
I'm glad you think highly of me.
Well, I always will.
I mean, it was only 3 miles.
And you
but,
did multiple turkeys.
I did 2 turkeys, one on the barbecue where you crunch the back and you remove the
Spitz-
spine.
spitz
Yeah.
Mhm, yeah. And one in the oven. Wow. So we're still eating turkey.
And they were both they were both moist, weren't they?
So the barbecue actually turned out a little dry.
Oh.
The legs were not, but the breast was pretty dry because it cooks fast.
Wow.
It really cooks fast. I was shocked. And then
Spatchcock.
the normal turkey in the oven was perfect. I mean, it's great.
I cooked a turkey in the oven in Pasco,
2
Washington.
17-pounders, by the way.
Yeah. I made a 24-pounder
Holy
for 4 people.
fuck!
That's-
Wow, you
And
still
it
got
was-
turkey.
It was fucking terrible. It was fucking terrible.
Oh.
It was dry as bone. It was a
But about
Christmas
It was,
vacation.
it was a
one?
Griswold
Yeah,
turkey.
yeah.
So
I cut into one of them.
Suck the
just
air out of
died
the
in
ground.
upon itself. It died in upon itself, and it was thankful that it was dead because it was just like Actually, he shouldn't have been thankful that it was dead. He was like, "You fucker, I died.
I died
and
for
you
you.
ruined
Yeah.
everything that was
Yeah.
left."
Yeah.
And it was bad. It was terrible.
You can
You know
throw
there's a
that in
temperature-
pot and do dumplings, and
There's-
it'll revive it.
There's
Oh,
a
I
temperature
keep it.
difference between turkey and pizza. So I thought maybe I'd let you know.
Really?
Yeah. So you probably put it at 700 degrees. or
Yeah.
something like
Son of a
Wood burning oven, slid it in there for 4 hours.
I did actually ride.
that. Oh, there we go. Thank
Yep,
you.
he's back.
Thank you.
Jackson's here.
Yep, and I'm back on the horse of it. Thanksgiving was good. Ate a good share, not too much, as I talked about. But yeah, getting back into it. Starting with 3 days a week, and whatever happens, happens.
Jackson was not with me
No.
and his mother on Thanksgiving, so he had probably an
In-laws.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and then a little story from my ride that I did inside. I remember how I always talk about how I just start off right from where I left off, pretty much, and it sucks the first couple of weeks, and it did really suck. So I did a workout that was like I had to hold 790 or something like that for like 10 seconds. Like, that's not very long, but when you haven't trained for a month, that's pretty long. And it got so bad after the third interval, which was the final one. So I did all of them at
So
full.
You're jumping right into interval training.
Yeah. Yeah. And so
Holy
I had to lay on the floor and the room was spinning. I got LED lights for the ceiling of this room that I was putting together.
Did you stroke out?
I kind of almost did. The whole place was spinning a little bit. It was it was a coming to Jesus moment.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But, so it makes me a hard man.
That's right. Right there.
I'm still kind of base miling this sucker.
No such thing.
Yeah.
You just start off.
Yeah.
So Jackson, my next question was going to be adding. Actually, I did ride both 2 times this week, both indoors. So I guess they don't count.
Nope.
And I did a strength training on system, and I've been doing my Derby challenge, and I'm now up to 360 squats a day. I got to get up to 600 in a day, and we'll get there. So anyway, about intensity. Do you guys all just jump right into intensity, or what happened to the concept of base, of building a fitness base? Sam's shaking his head.
Apparently, he's the only one that does that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, man, you are just like David, and both of them are wicked fast. So
Yeah.
maybe there is something to
Maybe
be
we're
learned
all
there.
wrong.
Get results.
Yeah. No, I
Sucks.
agree with that. But I will say this, up until probably if we're Friday starting in March, maybe until June or July, I can smoke David in a 5-minute effort, right? And then he gets the miles and then he's going. So that's why I think that those are pretty critical to do. I'm doing a lot of 5 to 10 minute threshold intervals right
Okay.
now, but he'll come out of the gates and be able to just smoke it in a sprint. So, I mean, it's to each their own, just a different tactic. You're more of a sprinter anyway. You're going to win that way. I'm going to win by going several miles out.
Yeah.
Just play to your specialty.
What if I don't know what my specialty is?
If you haven't figured it out by now,
You don't have one.
Well,
It changes when you get older.
my body's changing, Jack.
Yeah.
this is
It's the
13
menopause
again.
thing,
I
We
mean,
should
12
make
again.
an
Can you hear
adult-
me? What's the book?
We should make an adult Birds and the Bees. It's
Yeah.
your body changing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
But an adult version
Can
of
you
that.
hear me,
It's-
God? It's
Can Hear Me, God, that's right.
Martha or whatever the fucking the book is.
Yeah, that noise is the sound of decay.
Yeah.
That was a turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So dry.
That's,
It was so bad. Paula, what are you doing? Do you?
I'm not going as hard as he is, but I found on that RGT that I was telling you on that I've been doing. They have Leuven City.
These are all just multiple sponsored dings.
They
so,
have a
yeah.
course on Leuven City, and there's 4 climbs, and it's like punchy climbs. There's one that's my time is 1:30 something. Then there's one that's about 2.5 minutes. Another one, it's pushing 3 minutes. I'm down. So I wrote it first time, giving you a little bit of effort because I don't know where it pitches and everything. So I use that 2 times a week. I do that, and of course on the screen it tells you your best time.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
So
Yeah.
then I'm sitting there and I know now I'm recognizing this is around this corner. It's going to pitch up to 7%. So it's a little bit of a sprint, shift a gear. I mean, that's just
You know the course already.
I'm starting to, yeah.
You're taking this as you do your life.
Yeah,
It's
because
like, I gotta
it's the
stay on
same thing.
course.
That's how I'd approach it if it was a race.
Sure.
And that's what I'm trained for is a race. And then over the top, I don't set up.
Yeah.
I try and recover as I go, and that's.
As
But
a
I can't
purebred
do.
stallion over here.
I can't do 700. I don't think I've even hit 700
the
watts
watts
on
you
that.
said, dude. I was just like,
Oh,
going,
no way.
I'm not going to say anything
Yeah.
because I don't want to be looking like the biggest
Suck.
wuss in the room.
Jackson, what does 700 watts look like?
I
I've
have
never
no
seen
idea.
that.
I can't count that high.
So you mentioned when you add intensity, Sam.
Yeah, so I would add it. I mean, probably in like March, April. I'll start
That
doing
late?
more. Yeah,
But that's when races are.
yeah, I know, but I'm not gonna win any of the beginning races.
Okay.
I'll be lucky to win some of the end races.
You could race into shape. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. As
show
long
up
as
to
I
a
have some of the base stuff to.
West Side race and
Yeah, I mean,
Mason
like
Lake
the only
road
races
race.
that I ever
Vance
won
Creek.
was when I had like that longer, like fitness to go out from like a ways out with a breakaway group. Right. I've never won something from a sprint, so I'm not even gonna try to get my watts up for a sprint. There's 1,000. Jackson will blow me out of the water 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
But if I go from like 20 minutes out, might be able to crack him.
I'm going to call you guys out on some things, and I'm going to jump very quickly into the topic by calling you out on some things. First of all, I heard the term race into shape. Early season races, I'm not going to be fit by a specific, those early season races. Has anybody found any races? We in this country are at a gigantic drought in terms of, especially if you're talking road races. We are, gravel races and fondos are increasing. I don't want to ask if anybody's considering the life of a privateer here, but because I think it's just Sam and me.
I'm all in.
gravel.
I received an email recently about one of our area road fondos, Chafe, talking about switching to a gravel format. They're asking people in order to get the numbers up or keep the numbers up, and they're trying to build that. Paul, you were nodding when I was talking about the loss of races.
Well,
what did
there's
you heard?
two for sure. That's because the calendar for Washington State Bicycle Association,
Yeah.
WSBA, probably won't come out until January. But already,
There are some on there.
everybody
already.
have a drink. Turd of Bloom,
The shotgun just finished.
and then Walla Walla in June.
Yeah, neither of which I can do.
I can do the first one. So you don't have a beer.
We don't
so I
have to
can't
say it
say
again. Yeah, because I don't want to
And,
slam this. No, I'm not double drinking you.
And the Vancouver Crit. Is
I'm not
scheduled.
double drinking anybody.
So,
No offense to you, Jack. I love you.
but in January we'll get more of a. You're going to be a member, aren't you?
Of what?
WSBA. No. What?
Why not?
Nah.
That's where all the racing is. That's
No, are we going to?
where all the racing is.
Are we going to mention my candidacy before it's announced?
Oh, you can be the president of the WSB?
No, I'm. I spend too much time on this show talking about standing up and doing something, and it came to me that the East Side. Thank you.
Wow.
Look at that pour.
This guy.
Dude,
The
here.
East Side is oh my god. I want to know how you're going to get fit. But you already are fit, you son of a bitch. The east side of this region is losing their representative. It is a person who's done it forever, the one and only Ted Chauvin.
No.
Yeah, Ted's stepping down, and I had a couple people say, "Hey, put your money where your mouth is," and I was like, "Oh fuck." So I put my money where my mouth is, and I am a candidate
Amazing
to be
candidate.
the East Side rep for Washington State Bicycle Association.
It's not a bad thing. There's some I mean, Ted's probably done a great job, but
Ted's done
more
a great
racing.
job.
More
Ted's
racing,
done a
you
very
know?
good job.
Yeah.
Ted believes in the sport, and
I do, but I think, you know, I mean, if he's tired of it, somebody as excited as you has to do it.
We'll see. We'll see how excited I am.
Let's put on some races.
Okay. That's kind of what I want to talk to you guys about.
Vance
Creek. I'm gonna.
Well,
I guess I'm gonna promote Vance Creek.
How can we fill in the gaps? We are at a situation, and one of what I want to take us into eventually is the process of making bike races happen. Many of us have been, all of us have been behind the scenes in some way, shape, or form in a bike race. And I want to talk to you guys about all the steps that go into that. But do they have to be full-on bike races? How can we fill in the gaps? For example, I've been kicking around the idea, and you guys tell me if it's... I've thrown out ideas to you guys before, and you've said no. Or you're just quiet. I get crickets back when it's a stupid idea.
We don't want to hurt your feelings.
No.
It's kind of like, you know, Turkey Day at the Trump House, and just if you don't say anything, you're cool with it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Would there be an interest in a $10 TT series? $10 TT series. You show up.
For sure.
Yeah.
You pay $10. It's a prearranged course. You show up between 5:30 and 7 o'clock, and you can start anytime on the minute interval. You show up. You pay me $10. You do your race. The results are all posted. At the end, you come by, you grab from a table of swag, and you have a beer and you go home.
Oh, that's a lot at the end. You've given more than the $10. Way more than the $10.
I'm just thinking a table of
$10.
swag.
You should be like get in
you
your
know.
car and be like happy as somebody put on a race.
and that's just $10.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Different course.
You don't need to give swag. You don't need to give beer.
don't give
for
it,
$10.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm not
We
giving
need-
them a beer. They
I'm
can
just
have
saying.
a beer.
I'm just saying. Oh, that's not a bad idea. But
Um,
if there was a regular race,
Paul's got a
$10.
That's like the Frostbite TT, right? On the west side.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's how
You
I
show
did it.
up,
Yeah, it's super cheap. It's like $20 or something like that, and it's
but
a whole
it's like
series.
you burn your lungs for like
Yeah.
for $10.
Yeah.
Do it.
so would you categorize? Would you have like category
A,
A,
B,
B,
C?
C?
Yeah.
Depends on the time of year too. I mean, if it's like frostbite's early, it's training.
Yeah.
Everybody just wants a race.
Yeah. I'm thinking like, two times a month from March to August.
Yeah, I think that'd be
One
cool
to
just to
two a
see
month.
how people progress.
Even a
right?
week
Because
now.
somebody that could start behind in points, then could like make up for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not much of a time trialist myself, but I think that any sort of putting something together right now is a positive step.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care if it's not my cup of tea or what. It's just as long as there's, road racing, off-road racing is getting a lot of attention. So I think as long as there's road racing, I think that is a step in definitely the right direction.
Sam, you were talking about the rebirth of the training race, the weeknight training race.
Yeah, I'm for sure doing that.
You are.
I'm bringing it back. Just because I think that like when I did the Valley Chapel course, that was definitely a big hit.
Describe that for somebody who doesn't know what
so
Valley
the
Chapel
people
is.
that aren't here, it's a rolling course in the Palouse, the wheat fields of Palouse, right?
Yeah.
With one big hill at the end, and then at the top. And by big hill, how would you say that is 1,000 feet or something? Like that's not really actually that much vert.
I don't know, maybe 800.
Yeah, I think even less than
Mile
It's about
climb?
couple miles.
Mile
maybe
and a half?
mile and a
Yeah,
half.
mile and a half.
Yeah, yeah. So that's like the
I don't know the
pinnacle of it,
Strava.
right? And then
Yeah.
you just turn around at the top and you come back home. But
So, do you finish at the top of the climb?
so you just you like basically
out and back.
It's out and back. And so then the whole idea is that then people could just basically not the whole thing is out and back, but the vast majority of it is. So like by the time we're all coming back, everybody should be at a point where they're seeing and you're riding past them So then people can just hop on if they want, or they can continue riding all the way out.
I don't
But
want
so it
people
gives them
hopping back. That's the Strava, no, the Zwift rubber
wouldn't-
band thing. I don't want fuckers jumping back on.
Yeah, but
my
it's
back
also
end.
more
I wanna
welcoming
beat
to
'em.
like more, people. They can have a second chance. It's the millennial way.
Everybody gets an award.
Everybody gets an award.
get a
You get to
chocolate.
participate.
Oh my God.
No, but
It's
like
just a little
I
piece
was
of
thinking
chocolate.
that like like you could do it where you self-seed in whatever category, like an ABC.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
if you're racing in the A group, even though we're all mass starting this, like if you're racing in the A group and you're the first person at the top, then you get 10 points that day on the top of the climb, right? And you can like track it. Everybody can have their own little like spreadsheet thing that we can tag in your points.
So let me throw this in, and especially because actually, let me ask Jackson. I mean, no, never mind. I'll get back to you because I want to know. You have a youthful perspective at this, which is fucking vital, and our sport is going to die. You're in a sport that is predominantly in this country surrounded by older men. And I think without you and without people your age demographic, especially on the road, we're fucked. So I and without the ability to put on events, nobody's going to, if nobody steps up, it's not going to happen. So, Sam, you're talking about this event and you're talking about these ideas. What are your thoughts when I respond with the two words, insurance and liability?
Barbara.
Yeah, I would go through if we wanted to make it like an
For
actual
a Thursday night training ride,
Yep.
for a training ride
Race.
of just a training ride. I mean, do you say it's a training ride? Do you get away with saying it's a training ride?
I would say
Then
a
it's not a
training ride.
race.
Yeah, then
If-
it's not a race. Like
yeah.
it's one of those things that, and that's why it's like you can hop back on if you want. There is no rules to this, right? It's just I'm going to be riding from point A to point B.
Yeah.
If you want to make it into more of a structured thing, then yeah, like I think that there was probably a critical mass. If I had, this brings me back to high school. Have you guys ever heard of the game Cops and Robbers? I probably shouldn't even admit to this by this point, but I think I'm past the statute of limitations. Did you have weird, like people running through your backyard in 2009?
Yeah, they were playing kick the can in my
We were
days.
playing paper tag.
Yeah.
We were taking a newspaper and throwing it at
Yeah.
motherfuckers, and you're it.
Yeah. So what would happen
sorry.
is like, it's. I swear I'm circling back to cycling. In high school, I started this thing, Cops and Robbers, right? And so it's like you'd have some people that were riding around. Yeah. And then it's like those are the cops in the cars, and they would jump out and like go running after people, and they're now a cop, right?
It's tag. So it's tag.
It's tag. It's
yeah.
all tag.
Yeah.
So I did that first time. Meet at this park right over here next to your house. Small group. Next time, huge group.
Yeah.
Didn't do it after that. I think that's the same thing with cycling in the sense that like if we got to a big enough group, I'd be like, okay, we need to have
We get
some
an organization.
This has to have
Yeah.
organization.
So
That's where we're running into.
but it's
Yeah.
probably, I mean, like, man, the biggest days that we had those local pickup race, mock race
Yeah.
things. Like, what would you say? There was maybe like 40 people there. Like it wasn't
at
that.
most,
yeah,
yeah.
at most. And so I think like 50 to 60 would be that critical threshold. Like, we should probably look into
Get
if
some
this is
insurance and get
happening.
some real-
yeah,
yeah.
because then you have a lot of people on the road.
So with the youth cross in Spokane,
Mhm.
we need a Tuesday night series at an industrial park. Those kids need to go from cross to crits every year. Because what are they doing when cross is over? Nothing. They're playing
Mountain bike racing.
school sports.
Some
I mean,
a lot of them are mountain
well,
bike racing.
yeah, but I mean, you could bring them into cycling through a crit. It's like it's
The true
it's
fun.
a
Road
road
cycling.
crit,
Yeah,
and
road
not
cycling.
a
Yeah,
not
yeah.
a grass crit and a
Yeah.
mud crit. So we actually really need an industrial park in the Spokane Valley, maybe not out
Now,
at
we,
Liberty Lake.
we say industrial park because we assume that
just shut down
these
on-
are areas of the city that 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
It's actually private, so you don't have to get like city cops out there. You don't have
that's
to
why
get.
I was talking about the
Really?
commerce. the
Well, yeah.
commerce
What?
place.
Well, yeah.
Really?
So if you like picked the city of Spokane Valley or the city of Liberty Lake, like at Buck Knives, you're in industrial parks. You're on private property.
You have
need
one
to find
person,
a
yeah.
person. Spokane Community College. There's a whole fucking SFCC. There's a whole series of roads out there you could loop together and just create a crit.
But remember that, like, that was my idea last week when you asked me the question of, like, what would you do?
Yeah.
If you had X amount
Oh,
of money?
yeah,
like
you
that
buy
Commerce Park place, right? Like,
Yep,
if
you
you
buy-
went there, like, I've scoped those roads, you could do, like,
Playfair.
a 4-corner crit,
Yep.
Playfair, that's
Yep.
it. And, like, you'd have to
Anything
talk
private,
to one person.
You need to talk to
But
a group or a...
That does need to be sanctioned.
Yeah. Oh,
See,
absolutely. And I don't think sanctioning is as hard as... I mean, it's not as hard as we're making it out to be,
Okay, so let's go through the steps. And this is the topic for the night. I'd like to know what you guys would do first. And Jackson, I know you're just like, I haven't fucking done this, but
Right.
But what if I told you in July you're putting on a downtown crit, what would scare you the first? What like 3 to 4 things would make you go, holy shit, how am I going to blank?
I think financially, I would probably worry the most about what happens if an unaware, specifically child, were to enter the raceway or like a spectator were to get injured.
Wow, you're specific.
Well, I just know that sometimes children, especially at these events, let's say it's kind of a public area, what if they run into the area? The parent's not going to hold back on a bike race,
Yeah.
I'm thinking like a downtown crit type of situation.
Yeah.
Like that freaks me out because that's like worst case scenario. I'm trying to think what else.
I don't mean this meanly, but I'm blown away that that's the first fear.
Yeah, my fear
I'd
would
be
have been,
like,
like, bike's been stolen.
how's this? No, my first fear is like, how's the city going to let me use the
Yeah,
roads?
yeah.
But anyway,
Well,
keep
how do
going.
you shut it
No.
Yeah, I was also gonna say like how where am I gonna hold it, but also am I gonna break even? I think that'd be a thing that I'd be worried about too.
That's a big question.
Yeah. The reason why I brought up like the children entering the raceway and like
Liability.
possibly being exactly, and I know that, like I said, parents are not going to hold back. They're gonna say you had a bike race, we didn't know about it, it's your fault. We're gonna sue you for every single cent you have.
We exist in the most litigious society on the planet, and that is what's killing our sport. The fact that people are like, I'm gonna fucking sue you. I'm gonna sue you. I'm gonna fucking sue you, and so that what makes it so hard.
If you're going to promote, though, you start a company. You get like USA Cycling or Orbra or whatever. So you get the insurance and you start a company.
Let's start with the steps. Okay, what would you do first? You're one person, and perhaps you have a few friends who would be willing to help out. Paul, what's the first thing
Asking
you would
for a
do?
friend.
Yeah, like
No, I'm not.
To
I'm
get-
not. I'm putting
know.
this in a generic situation.
I know,
I would
I
never
know.
throw you guys under that bus.
so to
Well,
get
maybe.
racing back. I'm not sure.
just
You're
Start a
putting
race.
on a race.
Yeah.
You've been asked
What kind of race, or what would I?
Well, what? Okay,
Where do you
yeah.
start?
What would be the race you would want to put on? Let's ask
Ideally,
that.
would be
Let's
a
that's
downtown
great question.
criterium. I
Downtown
think that,
crit.
yeah,
Okay, just a one-off.
one off. To start with, always start small.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
that's
Get
not
good at
small.
get good at but
That's small as in quantity. That's a huge undertaking, and there's a lot of business. Small is like a TT that's out in the Palouse.
like
A
what he
$10
was talking
TT.
about.
Yeah.
Exactly
That's-
what he was talking about. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking as an event that's open to like USCF or
USCF.
Oh my
Yeah.
God! How old are you?
but somebody at that level.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always do. I mean, there's nothing really holding back what the TNT was doing or what he's doing. To me, that's nice. It's like getting a little treat. But I'd like to see it, in order for cycling to blossom, you're gonna have to like take some effort.
Sure.
And I think at Downtown Criterium, we had one. We talk about it all the time. I think it's 2013 or 14 when we had it in Spokane. It was 13.
We had
I
several
people-
of them in the 80s.
Yeah,
yeah.
but they try to bring it back.
Yeah.
And I have people coming to me that didn't know the race was going on, thought it was the coolest thing. When's it going to happen again? Family members too. Hey, they thought it was great. So, that's how you're going to get interest. But you have to be consistent. And yeah, you're going to take it in the shorts. You're not going to probably make money at it. No one makes money in the sport.
If we can
Not
shut
America.
down every fucking street in Spokane for Hoop Fest, we could put on.
We are fortunate that we live in a community that is
8
supportive.
block. Yeah. Not every metropolitan.
Well,
yeah.
we talked to Greater Spokane Sports Association,
Sports
whatever they're
Commission.
called,
Yep,
Sports Commission.
And they were like,
yeah, and they really do want that type of thing, something different, and they're willing to help get it bigger.
Yeah.
So they take care of the police for you, and
Yeah,
they take
yeah.
care of the
Oh,
security and
huge.
helping find all that stuff.
So we're not.
That's where the money comes.
Now, keep in mind, a very large portion of our listeners are not in Spokane.
But
So
they
they're
come
not-
to Spokane for a crit.
So let me ask you guys. You've got this idea. Can we all agree that for the hypothetical situation of this, Jackson, do you have any other? Would you put on more than one event, or would you just stick with a downtown crit?
I think I'd probably stick with just one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say, for the sake, we're a new promoter. We're going to put on a downtown crit. Okay. What kind of people are the right kind to help you put on a race? Talk to me first about the people you want to get involved with you, because you can't do this alone.
No, you need the city backing. You have to get support from the city and the down. Well, if you're doing a downtown or whatever local area you're at, because I thought about doing like a crit series, talking to parts. And, we have so many cool
Districts
parks.
like Perry.
Yeah,
and
Perry. We
Yeah,
have around Grand
Manitoba,
Park.
yeah.
We have like my neighborhood, Cannon Hill, it's
Corbin.
1 kilometer. Corbin Park, which is an oval. It used to be a race.
It's been
horse
a race.
racing,
and
yeah.
it's actually been a race.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
was in there.
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
Anyway.
But all those are. But the problem is you got to have that agreement, and that community has to, whether it's downtown or the neighborhood, that says, yeah, go ahead, because all it takes is one person, and that creates a headache.
Yeah.
and that's what it.
How about friends and family? What kind of people do you attract? Do you try to bring in to something like this? Anybody? Yeah.
I think the reliable type. I mean, as obvious as that is, but I think people that are going to probably not judge your decision making, but support you, because I think when you get people that are going to immediately criticize any sort of decision, I think that's not really a good team making decision. And I mean, I feel like you would have just kind of figured that out, but I feel like a good core team. No,
Yeah.
I'm saying like a good core team is like the key to a good event.
Sure. And it is so much more than just a person with an idea. I mean, and this is I'm trying to bring this out to the whoever's listening to this, who's just kind of kicked it around in their heads. You can't do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be done with at least a core group of people.
A family and team. So
Yeah.
I promoted Vance Creek for probably 4 years. A guy I got into cycling is Eric Anderson. He took over the race from me. He brought his family in. All of his family are now flaggers. He's got probably 6 or 8 people. His wife runs registration. He's a race promoter. His cousin is schooled in getting together all the cars, the WSBA, lead car, follow car, all that.
Yeah.
So, 6, 8 years, 10 years later, everybody has a position in the race promotion. They get paid. Everybody gets paid.
That's
really part of the entry fee. You have to give back to the pros. You have to give back to the people that are going to get race winnings, but you also have to pay your people that are going to be there every single year for you. And if you have a team, and I used the Olympia, cycling club that was in Olympia, that they would come out and they'd flag in the morning because they're racing in the afternoon. They get a free entry. So, you kind of have to be creative with who you're using, what they want. If you're getting a free entry fee, you're going to drive in the morning, you're going to race in the afternoon for free. You just got to get creative.
Yep.
Talk to me about the I'm going to be honest, the pros and the cons of working with the USAC, United States
That's a
Cycling.
lot
Don't you
of.
mean USCF?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I get off there.
There's no affiliation of this show with the USAC. I'm looking, by the way. I have a bookmark of the Oregon organization that it's not OBRA, but it is it's an organization that actually sanctions races outside of Oregon, and they will help
It's
you
not
out. with
Oprah that does that?
No,
I thought it was,
but
yeah.
it is a different
remember that.
little acronym of whatever it is. But USAC provides insurance.
And,
USAC
and officials.
USA provides officials, which you have to pay for.
Yeah,
You have to
you
pay
have to
for
pay for
officials.
their mileage to get there. You have to, which makes East Side State,
Very expensive. to
very
host a
expensive
race.
to put on races on the East Side because we have no referees on the East Side.
Yeah, you got to pay for a lot.
That's
You got to pay for lead cars, follow cars. You got to pay for all these kind of things.
Yep.
And that becomes a very difficult endeavor for somebody who's thinking to themselves, Jesus, I just want to make bike racing happen.
Well, the
what are you
riders
doing
need
to
to go, hey, I guess I don't get a prize. I don't get $300, cash for winning this race because there was actually a race. I mean, it's gotten back to that point.
Yeah.
Once we build it up,
Right.
then they'll be like, oh, all right, there's
There
lots of
are
racing.
other alternatives. There are that group, and if by the way, if you're listening to this now, and if you're in the States, you look up Oregon Bicycle Racing Association, you will find that partner company. And NABRA, North American Bicycle Racing Association. I think that's what it is.
It might be
Norba.
I think that's what it is.
Norma.
No, that's Norma.
That's dead.
And I've spoken to them. I've
yes,
spoken to
yeah.
them because they usually take on kind of like
You had a podcast with them.
alternative and quirky events. Thank you. I did have a podcast on
Ding ding.
yeah. And I don't want to bash the USAC because it's all we've got right now. But I also want to make it clear that there are ways you can do it. There's an insurance company out there, McKay Insurance. If you look it up, it is a company that I go through with our 24-hour race. You can provide athlete insurance, and it is a specific dollar amount per athlete. You have to provide documentation. Everybody has to do all this kind of stuff. But you can do it. You can make these things happen. Now, if you want to officiate your own race, that's another thing. But it becomes difficult to figure it out. Let me ask you guys this. What is a reasonable fee to charge for this downtown crit? If you're an athlete showing up and somebody
$50.
charges
Depends
you
on
$50,
category, though.
I think at most $50.
at most $50 for
Depend-
a one-day
At
event.
least $50.
I see. The reason why I say at most $50 is because it comes back to what you're getting out of it. Because if you begin to rise over $50, then you lose interest in the younger audience.
But I think the
So
lower
okay, you
categories
could do like lower
definitely
categories.
Yeah, but
but I'm talking the pros who are like
they're gonna make money.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like, I want this in return. It's like, put your money where your mouth is.
And right, the $100 gets
Yeah.
you $2,000, or
Yeah.
there's entry fees that you kick back. I
So
always
you
kick back
take a $100 entry fee and you
50%.
put 50% of it back.
like so say you got a 100
a
1-2.
really
So then you get like a
business model.
huge.
Let's just say you have a 100 1-2 pro
Yeah.
Wow.
at
Is there 100
$100
pros, 1-2 pros in
But
the
I mean,
US?
They're all right for
$100
Legion.
We're talking
$100.
like $100. Yeah, but $100.
No, he's
for the
not talking
1-2s.
100. Yeah.
And then you take 50% of that and you put. I always said when I promoted Advance
Mm-hmm.
Creek was 50% of the entry fee goes back to the prize. So if 3 people showed up, I'm gonna give you $45 back,
Yeah.
to the winner.
Yep.
Show up and I'll give you $500.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't lose that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you have to do it.
Talk to me about getting sponsors. Has anybody ever tried this process? Because most sponsors are like, yeah, I'm going to give you product.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you, 10 fucking hay
It helps
bales
with the
or
lower
something like
categories.
that. It
really
does.
That
It
does
does
help with the lower category.
But what do
Yeah.
you do when you're trying to create a cash model? I mean, because bike racing costs money, and it costs money to put on a bike race. How do you approach a sponsor with a monetizing model that would make them excited about getting involved? Does anybody ever? Yeah, Jackson's like, fuck, Dad. Jesus.
I mean, then just the title sponsor. Like, I can only really think of Derby Days most recently because, like,
Redmond
every
is
time,
like-
God, they walk out with $1,000 check and you see like haze grow over everybody's eyes. Like, let's fucking go.
Yeah, but so
What are you
everybody,
talking about? What Derby
Redmond
Days?
Derby Days is like
everybody
a
shows
criterion.
up
Everybody.
and they fill the town with money. So like
Yes.
everybody's gonna like they give money, they give prizes. All lower categories get like some gift basket of bath salts from
nothing.
Sarah's bath boutique,
And the final crit is a
and you love that.
freaking show because the winner gets $1,000 and those starving cyclists are like, I'm willing to die for this. They had a crowd preem that was $804.
But that was
something.
that's
that's
people
different.
That's people
Totally.
putting money in a pot.
That's what I'm saying though. It's like, I mean, for those
Or-
big things, like you'll draw that, which I think, man, crowd preems you'll see a lot of pros go for. But like,
You're not gonna see-
otherwise, I think a bank, like they'll say, if you write my name on that check, like Washington Mutual,
Yeah,
you
so-
know, is
So Boise, they gave away
Jack-
diamonds. They gave away diamonds.
Jack, you're
for-
getting excited.
He won that race.
There are 5 of us here.
Sorry.
Now
Push over the console.
the good luck. The concept of the crowd preems can't happen unless you've
There's
got
a crowd. Yeah.
and then you've got a whole kinds of stuff
True.
like this.
And an announcer like you.
Well, Jackson, I was going to ask about that. You know, the things that people overlook.
Or Jackson.
Jackson's
Yeah, he's an
an
announcer.
experienced announcer and stuff like that. And I would like to. People don't need to hear me spout about the importance of an announcer. What do you consider from your experience?
I mean, it was going to be a really weird comparison, but I find a lot of similarities between a race announcer and my current and my job itself.
Yeah.
Being a preschool teacher, I think it's like it's going to sound really weird, but it's like being a race announcer is like in most of it you're not giving them like great, like you're not giving them any like sort of concrete like concrete advice. You're just saying like, good job, you did this really well, you made it home, like all that type of stuff.
The excitement is what gets.
Exactly, and that's what I mean between a preschool teacher. At no point have I really ever looked at a preschool like picture and been like, wow, that is like, that's going up in the Louvre. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, that's really, really great stuff. And I think that any sort of like little encouragement, you say the name, it just adds a bit of like realism to it. Like, I really am doing this event, whether you're racing to win or you're just finishing the event. Oh,
Good save.
whether
That's
you're
my job.
Yeah.
I think that
would break.
Yeah, I think that a race announcer can bring like an atmosphere that the lack of one wouldn't bring.
And I can say this from personal experience. I mean, because when you're dealing with endurance type events where there's not a crowd per se. There's a crowd of family and friends who want to hear the name of Uncle Jake as he comes across the line. That's one thing. When you're talking about some bike races, especially a downtown environment, a central environment, you need somebody who's willing to not only talk about the elements of the race, but also educate a crowd in terms of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You need to paint the picture of the excitement of what's going on. And I think it's highly overlooked. I'm not trying to beg for your business. I'm not doing that because I'm not going to wherever you fucking are. But I think to have somebody who can empathize with somebody who's showing up at an event and doesn't know what's going on. Now, if you're in the middle of nowhere, do you need an announcer?
I kind of think you do almost more. I think you need one more if it's in the middle of nowhere, because you said that the lack of crowd and having an announcer can really create something that's special. And I think that for, let's say, a bike race, if you are finishing a bike race and there's nobody cheering for you except for the announcer, that creates a feeling of excitement rather than having no one there. If it's just a couple people going woo at the finish, it's like, oh well.
Or the sound of your tires rolling across the finish line.
Like I feel like that
was
would
my
be
life. That's my fucking life.
I feel like that would be a space where a race announcer with some high energy music would be really, really productive, even though it's boring as hell for the announcer.
I spent $200 to experience this.
Is it Jeff Roach?
Fuck.
Jeff Roach?
Jeff Roke.
Roke.
Yeah, Jeff was one of the legends.
So we grew up with, like, he made cycling super exciting in Spokane.
He's the
all
reason
over
why
the
I am
US.
doing what I do now. I
Really?
blame everything on Jeff Roke.
So he gave you that sense of professionalism.
1000%.
Like we showed up and you could listen to him and just close your eyes,
Yeah.
and it was
It was
a
a
baseball.
show.
You know how a baseball announcer,
It was a show.
like, you can listen to a baseball game on radio and get a lot more out of it than watching the damn game.
Yeah.
So he was that guy.
If anybody, his voice isn't it? Jeff also did in American Flyers.
Yeah, he was the
Oh.
play-
Yeah, so if
not
you
the
wanna hear-
play-by-play guy.
No,
he wasn't. He wasn't the guy.
No, he wasn't.
No, because
no,
it was a
it
different
wasn't.
guy. No, there, at one point you see him on a mic, but
Yeah.
it isn't
It's not
his voice.
his voice,
It's
yeah.
not Jeff.
That's right.
And a guy was a legend, and these crits that they used to do, where he got big enough that he would have an announcer. He would be on the finish stretch, and he would have another announcer on the backside of the course.
An assistant.
Yeah, calling both sides of the course. It was a really cool experience. So, I don't know if we're helping somebody who's listening to this to think about putting on a race, but I constantly go back to the days when it was mandatory.
This seems like a time of selflessness to put on a bike race for the sake of bike racing over yourself. Like, we all want to race, but
Should the USAC reinstall the requirement for every club to put on a race, regardless of the magnitude, the size, the distance, the cash purse, whatever it is? Should every club in this country and every country be required to put on a race?
so what's the incentive to be a USA cycling club right now? To go to nationals? If you're not,
Fuck if I know.
you go race.
I pay it. I pay it, and
Orba
all I get are requirements that say I have to do some sort of a safe environment training.
but
That's
what if-
all I get from USAC right now.
What if Arrive was not a USA cycling team?
There's no
We
penalty
wouldn't
for
change,
racing
right?
unattached.
So there needs to be. You need to bring that back to importance.
If
It's not.
you have a mandatory club race that every club has to put on, think of how many races would suddenly appear on the calendar. I'm talking to everybody in their own district. I'm talking to us here at this bar. I'm talking how many races would suddenly appear. I don't care how good or how
That or
shitty
you would
they
have
are.
a lot of unattached riders.
Oh,
But there was a fee for riding unattached. You had to pay
Oh,
an,
so
extra
Double.
fee
yeah,
for
that
riding
is,
unattached.
That is the
I
the
don't- that was
incentive.
before my time.
That is
Yeah.
the incentive. If you don't have, if there's so many fondos and so many like Orbra
Gravel
like,
crap.
or
Yeah.
or Orbra,
Hey.
like, hey, we don't need to be USA Cycling, we can be Orbra or whatever. Then there's no incentive to be a USA Cycling team. And if that's not the only game in town, which when you're talking about it was the only game in town, and Orbra was like, it was kind of like this like Texas thing, you know. It was sort of a like, well, we're gonna do this, and they also hung out with USA Cycling. Now, because of deterioration, they have the independents, like everybody's, Orbra has become the independent, and other organizations with the gravel racing and the fondos and all that, people just say, well, fuck you, I'm just gonna go race up this or a race of that.
I'm going to just Strava race.
It's
I'm gonna
not
just beat my friends.
It's not as important to be a USA Cycling member as it was. It just
Yeah, they like got rid of. I mean, I wasn't around at that time, but it sounds like they got rid of the fees that would be your punishment, and then also didn't require teams to put on races anymore.
like, how did your 18-year-olds
like-
go to Worlds? How did your 20-year-olds
Yeah.
go to Worlds? If you want to go that path, you have to be USA Cycling. But I mean, all the coaches have to do is kind of like, oh, you're pretty good.
Have we saved anybody from the fear of putting on a race? Probably not. I think the one thing I want people to come away from this is understanding that it's not as daunting as you think it is. It's easier than you think it is. It is not. I mean, I started the show with a $10 TT idea.
Mm-hmm.
You create a race. You charge people $10. You get a company like McKay Insurance. You pay $6 maybe per person. You show up there with a timing app. I have the timing app. God, I can't remember the name of it right now. I will post it. A timing app on your iPad, and you get another person. You know, if it's a point to point, you both start your clocks at the same time and you go. If it's out and back, you just stay there and you type in their numbers as they come across, and it a web scorer. That's the name of the thing. And if you have a web connection, it will automatically digitally post your results to the web, and you're done. It's not that tough to do. You can put on a crit in an industrial park if you get permission and you do the races and you do things like that. You can put on a training ride, quote unquote training ride. You have to stare everybody in the face and go, "Don't fucking sue me" or something like that. I don't know.
I'm a total squirrel, and I put on fucking Vance Creek for 5 years and state road race and time trial champions. I'm like the least organized guy and I did it.
You're right.
With USA, with fucking USA Cycling.
You're right.
I brought officials out and set up cars. I did it. If I can do it anyway.
I put on a 24-hour mountain bike race last year, and I was terrified. We fed people. We let people camp. We did all that kind of shit, and we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. And then we watched other people do it.
And 3 people like.
Oh, you're always going to get complaints.
Yeah, right.
You're always going to get complaints.
Yeah. Who complained? Give me their name.
But the 400 people that appreciated what you did is all that matters.
Yeah, you can't let it get to you.
People.
Like, you can't let it get to you. So what I'm saying is, put on a bike race. You should force yourself. If you are a member of a cycling club, bring it up at your next meeting. Say, we have to put on an event. Quit fucking riding other people's coattails. Put on a race. And we as the Arrive Cycling Club should put on a race. Let's distract the listeners from what I just said and shift gears to a quick news recap brought to us by our friends at Scratch Labs, the best tasting, easiest on your gut, best variety there is for fueling. Scratch Labs. Big flavor, light flavor, recovery, endurance fuel, all it's right there at Scratch. Click the link at packfiller.com. Okay, this might not be news, but I want to say that Fred Wright is my new fucking role model. Gluttony makes for a good motivator for Fred Wright. Bahrain Victorious' classics bashing, stage hunting sensation rests harder than he races, so he can commit fully to his season, stretching from early spring to late summer. This is from our friends at Velanews. He says, I quote, I like to get to a point in the off season where I feel so gross and upset with myself that I want to ride my bike again.
Jackson?
Sounds familiar.
I would like to bring that and cut that story short to just say, Jackson, is this what you've been talking about in terms of your approach to training?
I don't know if I feel necessarily disgusted with myself. I just more feel the motivation entering my body. I think that's awesome though, because I feel like that's definitely a much more real world way of putting it than I've been training all year long and I don't stop and I want to die by the next day I wake up, I feel like that's really cool, and it's especially from a guy like Fred Wright, who is always at the front of races. I identify with that, and I'm happy to see that the pros are touting that as well. Yeah.
So I know Sam can probably agree with this, but everybody else over the age of 40, can we take this approach and still have any chance of being remotely good? Paul shook his head.
I already tried it.
Paul Jackson.
I used to be that way in my 20s, but when I hit my 40s, like, what the hell's going on? This
We're
is
raging against the
I used
dying
to
of
say
life.
3 weeks, and I'm in race shape.
No.
Now
God,
it's about 3 months.
I am in that transition period of it's
3 weeks
starting to
to
get
3
real.
months.
Yeah.
You're a middle-ager.
I know, right? Like, I was
30
thinking
something.
about it, like, man, I didn't ride starting the end of last year, like, it's a big year, and then didn't ride from, like, October until March, and I didn't have riding legs until August. Like, it's a thing. You guys are, And you're just further ahead than me.
I'm way ahead.
Ahead?
Twice my age.
Yeah, I know.
In deterioration.
Yeah.
Deterioration.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's amazing.
That's a depressing news story. Speaking of weight, Tom Pidcock admits that his featherweight climbers profile will prove a disadvantage against looming cyclocross clashes with brawlers Wout van Aert and Mathieu van der Poel. And he says, and I quote, "I don't have the weight and the same power as Mathieu and Wout. It's hard to beat them in races like this." So, I'm about to get to the depressing part. The Ineos Grenadier star, who already won his first cyclocross race this season in his World Champions jersey, said he's close to his road racing optimum weight of under 60K. They have more absolute power. This is him again, which comes in handy in the mud and in the sand. It's a lightweight. Tom is a lightweight. His trainer, his coach, says it's not far from his tour weight at 58 kilograms. Van der Poel got the best of Pidcock in last week's thrilling race at Hulst, with Pidcock taking an early lead only to break a wheel after his mishap. And so we go on from there. But, however, he did honestly say he's we talked about Mathieu van der Poel at his race weight of being 80 kilograms. Number one, should I just be fucking racing cyclocross? I'm the heaviest guy in this room. Should I just quit and race cyclocross?
No.
No. Number two, I looked it up. 80 kilograms is just over 175 pounds. 60 kilograms is just over 132. What do you all hope to achieve in terms of racing weight? Everybody talk to me about your ideal racing weight, and I'm going to say Tour de Bloom to make all you drink once before you drink, because it's like a pound.
Let's be real here.
Yeah.
Tom Pidcock is about 5'2".
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that is something to also understand, and I think he's not really 5'2". but
It's
he's
not
probably
healthy
like
to-
5'5".
No, he is. He is. I think he's 5'2".
That is
I think he's that.
wow.
Short.
That's incredible if that was a spot on guess.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
and Van der Poel is what, probably 6 foot, 6'1".
He's over 6
Yeah.
feet. Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just a different beast in itself entirely. I think it's just the battle of body composition.
Yeah.
Battle of the Bulge?
Well,
Yeah.
for us it is. But I think for myself,
Yeah.
I hover between like 160 and like 168.
And how tall
Okay.
are you?
I am 6'4".
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You're 6'4".
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that at one point.
You're 6'4".
Sam,
I'm
what's
6'3".
What's your race weight, realistic ideal race
Oh
weight?
yeah, no. Right now I'm definitely between 190, 195, somewhere in there. And I would say,
Why do you want my medium jersey, dude?
dude? I want to feel like
What
a
the
packed
fuck?
sausage,
Can you
bro.
squeeze his fucking
I wear a medium too.
his? But he weighs fucking 60 pounds more than you.
It's
You
the
know
body
what?
composition.
You know
it's
what?
not the weight.
Yeah,
You
it's
wanna know
all
what-
He's got
lower.
really
It's
big
lower.
legs, really big ass.
You want to know what
Really nice.
Sam's jersey zipper is saying?
Ouch!
That was
Like-
perfect. But no, I think that skipping forward, I think my perfect ideal in my current state of like being an adult and functioning human is 185.
185.
Like a
Okay. Ball.
job.
Yeah,
As I get older, the
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 wings.
weight with
Yeah.
the weight gets
The
less and
wings.
less. Yeah, I got the.
He's got bird bones, but big
Yeah.
legs.
The weight gets less.
Less.
You get lighter.
Yeah, because you don't have muscle mass. Muscle weighs
Yeah.
twice as much as
Yeah.
is like fat.
Everything's shrinking on Paul.
God, that makes me feel good.
So
His height.
right now I weigh 166. I should be probably racing when I was at 49 years old. I was I think 156, and that's when I was probably at. So I'll probably be. I'm thinking, to be honest with you, 158 if I could lose 8 pounds.
Awesome.
So
What
At
was
that height,
your
height.
race weight? 158.
158
at that
yeah.
height,
I was
that's
59, 158.
Fucking.
Yeah.
But I don't have a sprint, and so that's to keep me going uphill. I mean, at this point in time, it's a penalty every pound. I think at my age,
We're not
It's
fat
terrible.
shaming, but we're pretty close.
Yeah, and it's not
We're
a bragging
teetering
point,
the
but
line.
Yeah.
seriously, the only I could work out as much as I can, and it's
Doesn't change
Yeah,
much.
it doesn't change much.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. It used to. I'm thinking. I used to be able to see how cut. Now the muscles just kind of like barely hangs onto the bone.
It's like
Which I'm thinking.
it's like Pat's turkey.
It's like I'm gonna
That's
all dried up. Yeah.
Barely. Hold on.
Yeah.
Jack, I don't know if you're a bike racer anymore, but what would you consider a race weight?
I rode a
considering where
bit
you are
this
now?
summer.
I know you did, and I'm busting your balls, man.
Yeah, so I got this summer. I got down to my race weight running.
We got to focus on the topic.
or cycling. 165.
160.
I got down 168 this summer.
That
Okay.
felt
Felt
good.
pretty.
That's
Yeah.
felt
nice,
pretty good.
dude. That's
Yeah.
good.
How tall are you?
Yeah, 6'1". So
I used to
That
be
is
that.
but I'm
tall.
high. I got fucking arms.
Yeah,
man.
I know.
Fucking,
Yeah.
I can.
It's all upper
I
body.
can do that.
I used
See,
to.
I'm-
Yeah, I got no lower.
You and I are
body right
different.
now. I know, right?
I say don't beat yourself up though, because you are built.
Right.
Too late.
Well, no,
Right.
you
Too late. I'm there.
Yeah.
like for instance, like
I am flagellating myself right
Paul
now.
and my
smacking myself on the
Yeah.
well, Paul and myself are built vertically, I
Yeah.
would say,
Yeah.
and you're gonna think this is gonna sound bad by
I'm
saying
short and fat. is what
no.
I'm saying.
You are
You're like a manhole cover.
listen.
Oh my god!
You have always had a broader set of shoulders than most, and you are.
I got a
Well,
broad,
it's because
I got a broad head.
I keep my shoulders together like Larry King because I'm embarrassed.
Is this why you have shoulder issues?
Let your
Yeah,
son
fuck
finish.
yeah.
for fuck's
Anyway,
sake.
sorry, Jay.
But we are built more as
Uh-huh.
climbing types. You are built more as a sprinter type. It's not that you're overweight. It's just that you are built differently. That's how every body composition is.
you and I are similar.
Thank
What,
you.
where
guys.
am I in this?
You're just like
I don't know.
stork-like.
Sam, this isn't fucking about you right now.
This is about me.
This is his show.
You hearing your guys' ideal race weight, and
Well, that doesn't mean we're
oh
going to
my
achieve
God.
it,
no,
right?
I did a little math here, and Paul, you said you're 166.
Yes.
I am 206, which means I am carrying 40 pounds up a hill.
But if you can put
Wait
out
until
the
you get a
watts.
disc
It's
brake
all
bike.
about watts.
I have a good, I have a good sized dog on my back every time I climb up a hill.
We should strap.
Do you want
I have
an
a
e-bike
vest.
now?
We could put one of those weights
Start right
on
now.
him.
It's unbelievable, and yeah, Jackson, thank you, by the way.
Well,
That was very kind of
it's
you.
true.
That was very
It's
kind
true.
of you to say.
No, he's got a point.
get a Christmas
if you look
present.
Yeah.
look at my wrist, they are tiny.
That's great. It's not going
like
to
how
get me up to
small
the
they
are.
fucking
Man,
top.
I can't
I
see-
appreciate.
But Paul's
I
going to a
appreciate
place.
that my
Yeah.
wrists and maybe my dick are bigger,
Well,
but
Yeah.
And that noggin
certainly
of yours,
is ass.
Jesus, it's like
Yeah.
an orange
oh my
on a
god!
toothpick.
I have one of Pat's helmets. I have to put 3 hats on to wear his helmet.
That's where all your weight
Yeah.
is. It's on your head.
it's
So don't worry about the
Never
fat,
unsee
Pat.
sewer
Lost
cover.
It's
Oh,
my
the
it's my
fucking
winter
show.
helmet. I put a winter hat under it.
But go ahead.
that didn't help. Let's end with some final fun. Brought to us by our beer sponsor. Wait, there isn't a beer sponsor. You want to be the official beer of the Packfiller, featuring in each episode, host of our quarterly live shows and group rides for 2023. Each beer reviewed upon arrival, exposure to a massive beer drinking audience. You know you're a beer drinker. If you're listening to this show, you gotta be it. Come play with us. Gentlemen, here's the question. If you had to pick your first, we're starting on the Christmas theme already. It's not even December. If you had to pick your first Christmas gift list item for yourself under $50, Jack didn't do his research. I can tell.
I
He
was
too busy
driving
here.
all day, dude.
Oh, I was driving. It was horrible. We
bottle
didn't-
of
But he was
whiskey.
texting us, but he couldn't look it up.
It was uphill both
Yeah.
ways. Yeah. What would it be? And it must be under $50. While you guys are doing this, I'm gonna start, and I'm taking this straight from our friends at Competitive Cyclist. Use the link at Packfiller. I would like a pair. And this is an
You didn't do
odd.
your homework
this
either.
This is an odd
did.
gift.
Oh.
This is an odd gift. A pair of Feedback Sports cassette pliers. I'm still using the old school chain whips. You know, the rod with the chain on it to get it off, and the chain is so old I can't believe it still fits in my 11s. Anything. And I would love to be able to just grab that thing and do my business. And that sounds highly
Those things are
sexual.
awesome.
But
Yeah.
I would love a good set of pliers, and I didn't write down the price, but I know they are under $50. I promise they're under $50. Anybody else figure something out? It's under $50. Jackson, you got something?
I don't have like the specific name, but I will always be the first person to tell you if you want to put any sort of upgrade onto your bike, road bike specifically, handlebar tape for me is the first place to start.
Good call.
And I have a set of Physique handlebar tape that is, Paul's giving a thumbs up because I agree. It's
Supercaz.
Yep. It's
Guys,
I don't even know what that means, but
Peter Sagan, bro. Peter Sagan.
Supercaz.
About what?
Supercaz. That's his bar tape. That's
it?
what you got to go with.
Is it by
Oh.
Physique?
It's no.
Oh, it's a different
its
brand.
own.
Really? I've never heard of it.
See,
yeah.
it makes a
yeah.
bike feel like brand new,
It does.
and
you-
I love it.
You always when you put a set of handlebar tape on your bike, it's the kind of moment where you're walking away from it and you're just leaving the room, and then you turn back and you look at it, you're like going, "Damn!"
You sent pictures out of your
Every
orange,
time.
Orange.
It's not orange anymore,
No,
John.
I know.
Yeah.
But you haven't ridden with me,
Nope.
so you wouldn't know. I agree. How many times should you replace handlebar tape, Jackson? In your personal opinion?
In my personal opinion, I think for me once a year,
Really?
depending on the color.
Yeah.
Depending on the color.
See,
Every
I do
time
it. I
you
do it
crash.
twice. I do it at least twice. At least twice.
I had
just
to-
because I'm like, I love the feeling of new handlebar tape.
See, I didn't do it the first year I had the bike, and then I crashed,
Yeah.
and then I got new hoods and new hood covers and new handlebar tape.
Yeah.
So, but if you buy the right bar tape, which is why I'm specifically mentioning Physique,
Yeah.
you won't lose that grip.
It's good shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. And handlebar tape's come a long way since Bonotto. I'm looking at Paul because he's the only one who's
used
going to
to-
appreciate
I
that.
used to buy
Bonotto's-
it all the time.
Awesome.
Oh, and Jack. I'm sorry.
It was great in the
Forgot you
rain,
here.
wasn't it?
I don't give a fuck.
No,
my
that,
God.
did any of us do the tricolor? I can go too
Yeah, I
far.
did.
Oh, I
Tricolor
you
junior
wrapped
shit?
3
No.
at a time.
You know you were a junior because you had tricolor tape.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I just bought the Belgian color.
Yeah.
They had it
Is that
black.
like the tape that like slowly transitions into the next color?
Now
No,
that
you
is
don't.
really
No,
cool.
I don't
love
know
It
if
that.
it's
was, it was a
transition.
cellophane
You have to
type,
do it.
like in the rain. There was
Bonotto.
no pad.
But
No
no,
padding.
it's like
And no grip.
strap. Now they call it strapping. Like when you get a pallet full of
Yeah.
stuff, that's the bar tape.
Yeah. It
The,
was.
the
So
straps
it's
that
not
hold
bar
it down.
tape.
That's
It's
so
literally just
funny.
tape.
The straps
It's
that
just-
hold it down.
Yeah,
It's
cello
not
tape.
even tape. There
It's
isn't any.
fucking-
Like electrical tape
adhesive.
might as well do.
No, it doesn't even
No.
have adhesive.
It's just like
It's-
like
it's
plastic, like
hard.
stiff
Yeah.
plastic.
It's
Yeah.
Plastic.
They
We
called
had
it,
to race in the rain, dude.
Oh, and
believe
it
it or not.
slipped.
but we wore
Excuse
gloves.
me, I raced in the rain.
Yeah.
Cello
Yeah.
tape. They called it cello tape. It was
Okay.
just a
Look
like
it
a
up. It's
like
cool
sheen of
stuff.
plastic.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Any of the pictures in the
Anyway, Paul, I'm giving Jack more time because
I
Jack
like-
doesn't know what he wants.
I like the I'm all on board on the Physique.
That's a
Bar
great
tape.
stocking stuffer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It just
Roll a bar tape.
it
Under
is
50,
good. And,
definitely
and
under
mine
50.
because of Physique, I used to wrap 2 times a year.
Yeah.
One a year. With
You go
Physique.
one a year?
Yeah, because Physique, unless I crash, that stuff wears like iron and it's comfortable. It is.
Is that your
No,
gift?
no,
or
it's
you-
not
okay.
my gift.
Okay,
Mine is-
you're just double plugging Physique.
No, I was just because the banter's so thick. I would like to say, Jackson, I'm with you.
Yeah.
but I get buried.
I
So
can't
anyway,
believe I said double plugging.
So
but
you
anyway,
both have lead in you and rocks and you agree
double
on-
plug.
yeah.
We have a lot more in common than.
you have to work up to it. But anyway, so. But I went with.
wow.
It's a great podcast. I love this.
I went with Motorex, their Grease 2000. It is awesome. It's $37.75 at
Motor X.
Motorex. They're a Swiss company that does
Okay.
greases and chains for MotoGP. They're like big sponsor
Oh, wow.
and all
Okay,
that. But
okay.
they do bicycle stuff. They have like chain lubes and stuff. But I bought a small little tube of it, and I thought, this is the best grease I've ever used. So,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Motorex.
It's
2000.
grease, not lube.
What?
Grease. Yeah. So bearings and
What? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
so it comes in a little like tub.
Little tiny guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everybody did their homework. I can see they're just randomly throwing out small items.
Well,
Do you
50
have
bucks
something,
doesn't
Jack?
go far in
I'll
cycling.
let you go before Sam because Sam did his homework and we don't want to.
I didn't do my homework. A Park Tool lube and cleaning kit.
That's not. That
Yeah,
can't be
it's
under
like
50 bucks.
$49.99.
He's,
Really?
Yeah.
$4.99.
How convenient. It's $49.99.
Specifically, it is
Give
to
me
the
a-
99th with no
Give
tax.
me the part number, Jack. Tell me what page it's on.
you might-
Catalog.
Jackson's
you might want to
looking it
call.
up.
You might want to call
Calvin?
Calvin on that. Yeah.
He'll sell it to
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
for $49. Jackson's looking it up. It's
Yeah,
gonna
he
be
is.
$47.99.
$47.99.
Now I think it was $49.99.
It was
a couple
$49.99.
seconds ago.
So the lube itself, so on competitive cyclists is $9.95.
Oh,
Plus,
Paul,
wait,
you
what
went-
else do you
went
want?
way cheap.
What else?
The
do you want?
cleaning.
That's
Cleaning
the park
kit.
stuff.
Yep. Cleaning part stuff.
Jackson's on it. We got
Pat,
to
to fill in
go
the
ahead.
gap,
Yeah,
So,
I
mine was 37.75.
Jeez, he did it. Jesus.
Well, there is no Park Tool cleaning kit actually. So
Wah, wah, wah.
I think I have that. Do I have? I don't
You
know.
can't find it. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Well-
Ed McMahon.
muck off if you're gonna look at it.
What are you doing, you moron?
Just the bio drivetrain cleaner is $24.99.
See, I'm up
and if
to-
you're continually adding
up to
on,
$35.
Yeah, well,
Jack, we don't ask
Up to
much.
$49.99.
I was driving all day. Go ahead, Sam.
Sam, bring us
Drive
back.
in, text
All
him.
right.
Yeah.
So
With your
preparing
OLN
for
mic
our
triangle.
winter
Yeah.
training. Oh, really? It's early spring. Castelli Pioggia 3 shoe cover.
Okay, so we're talking shoe covers now.
They are amazing.
50
I had-
bucks?
they're on sale.
Oh,
counts.
Yeah.
It counts.
It counts on competitive
damn right!
cyclists.
Damn right it counts.
Competitive
Damn
cyclists.
right it counts.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, they're awesome. I had the earlier rendition of them that were like the neoprene like ones. But these ones are less like for wet conditions, more for cold conditions.
Are they
Highly
fleeced on the
recommend.
inside?
Which for Spokane.
Yeah.
area.
Are they
What?
fleeced on the inside?
No, they're not fleeced.
I don't know how Jackson does it with just the Velo toes, with just the rubber covers.
No.
Well,
rubber
We
covers.
Yeah.
talked about this.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, you do that and a pair. Well, Sam has a better idea, but this is how I do it. I do it with the Velo toes, my regular cycling shoes, and then a pair of wool socks to insulate the heat, but to take in that sweat that it turns sweat into warmth.
Mm-hmm.
Wool's a pretty crazy fabric, so that's what
it's
I
the best.
suggest.
Yeah.
That's
So,
amazing.
and
And
we
you know what
did-
I do? I just do a pair of socks and my fucking shoe covers.
Yeah, it's
and I'm
crazy.
done. I'm done.
Yeah.
No, I don't do
Cold.
Velo toes and
Yeah, but like that
then
keeps
make
you
special
warm
socks.
enough.
Yeah.
Man, that's wild.
You know
My
where they came
feet-
from? You know where they came from? I'm gonna be a horrible person. They came from Alibaba.
Like your
Molly
your
Baba?
rubber ones?
No, my fabric ones, my fleece line ones.
Oh.
Cost me $12.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
Now, mind you, they're gonna last 4 rides.
Yeah.
the thing is, though, you want to know how long my Velotos have lasted? 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
And they were $20.
Yep.
And they're pieces of rubber.
Yep.
But Sam has
They
a better
are.
idea
They
than
are.
I do.
So how I did it, we were talking about this on our last ride.
Is this under $50?
Yeah, because it's still Velo.
Yo,
Then
yeah.
we're still on
$20.
topic.
Yep. So I will stick then the shoe cover, or I mean the toe warmers, underneath the shoe cover, and it's incredible.
Really?
It's just like an oven in your foot.
All right.
Oh, it's because it traps all the heat in, and so I highly recommend. And that's probably got to cost an extra $3 or something. To
Okay,
toe warmers to
we're
it.
going to be building. We're going to be building the Christmas list as we proceed. And by the way, don't you guys think you're off the hook, because I have already the Christmas gifts are here. They're just not here, and I will be giving them to you, and we will be going with that on another date. So before we finish, however,
I won't be here.
before we finish. Jack, I'll make sure you're here. I just went like
We're doing like an Irish car bomb over here.
Dude, yeah.
Very quickly, if you had to go thumbs up or thumbs down, I'm going to ask you to rate the top transfers of 2023. This is from our friends at Velo News once again. So I'm going to start with Jackson. Richard Carapaz to EF Easy Post. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Can I not give a middle? Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
awesome.
Jack,
I wanted that one, but go ahead.
you could the same one.
Same
Oh
one.
yes, I love it.
Paul.
Yes.
Thumbs up for Richard Carapaz.
Yeah.
Thumbs down for EF.
Okay, how so? How so?
Just
How
because
so?
it's another
He hates
retired
Jonathan
cyclist.
Butter.
who's
That's
done
my
it
problem.
today.
That's why I'm
I
going.
I don't think he's retired. I think he has a lot of potential. I
He
think
won 3 stages.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so did a bunch of other
Yeah,
like.
yeah. What?
if you're looking for, well, anyway, this is about.
Yeah,
Anyway,
continue.
Yeah, continue.
Fast.
Yeah, that's an argument.
I'm gonna say a thumbs down. I don't think it's gonna pay off. Second one, Dylan Van Barl to Jumbo Visma from Ineos rider to Jumbo Visma.
Probably the best transfer of the entire season.
Yeah.
Thumbs
Really?
up.
I agree.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
Everybody's thumbs up.
Yeah.
Tim Merlier to Soudal Quickstep.
Ooh, I think it's a good idea,
You
especially
do?
if Cav's going.
Yeah.
Well, they need Cavs.
Need
Yep.
sprint.
Yeah.
Need sprints.
Yep.
Yep.
Adam Yates to United Arab Emirates.
We have the next tour winning team. Thumbs up.
Really?
As a helper.
Yeah, okay,
Of course,
okay.
because
Okay.
Yates can't make it through a.
Oh yeah, you think
He's
this
catching
is
on.
catching up for Pog. So we all agree that's good. Jay Vine to UAE.
Oh my
You
god.
think he's gonna pay
God,
off?
game over.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay Vine, he'll be great for. I mean, if he does the same role as Yates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he will.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs
it's
up.
Jay Vine could have
Team
a
building move.
magical Tour Spain too.
And they have a triple threat of all three.
Wow,
Giro.
that all went to UAE.
Yeah.
I think
right.
somebody at some point in time went, we really should this Pogacar guys, he's good. We should maybe build
Put
a
a
team.
Get
team
some help.
around him.
Build
Yeah.
a team around him of tour winners.
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
not?
yeah,
Or a
exactly.
potential tour.
Well, I have to say it will make for interesting racing because obviously they don't want to get in the position that UAE, that is, where Jumbo Visma had. So this is their counterattack early on. So now it's up to Jumbo Visma to make it's a big chess game.
Yeah.
So now they have all their pieces. What are we going to do? Jay Vine, what
I don't
we're
think
going to look at all
anybody's
these
on
guys.
the level of Pogacar, though.
Yeah.
Like so
Exactly,
you're
but they have to
kinda
eagle-
like Giro, Vuelta.
At
What do you
some
want?
point in time, they have to know that that Primoz Roglic is going to crash. So that's one less
Or
Jumbo
retire.
Visma rider.
Well, the thing is
He still thinks he can win the Tour.
It's
Jumbo
kinda-
Visma.
He's like the equivalent of Yates.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yates does
That's
great,
yeah.
crash.
No,
or whatever.
He's far better than Yates.
Yeah.
Yates
Jumbo Visma knew that right now. I think everybody in the world would agree. Pogacar is like, how do you stop this guy? And they found they had to have a quiver of arrows, and they played the strategy right. So UAE is coming in. It's like, okay, we didn't have people to mark, all these guys from Jumbo Visma like Van Aert and what's his name, Christophe Laporte. Yeah, all these guys are up ahead. Yeah. I mean, no one argues the best stage in the Tour de France was stage 11, and that was a masterpiece of strategy. And so they can't get in that position. So if they have enough people to say, okay, go.
Yates is
So anyway,
filler.
guys, I hate to do this to you, but we could rant about this for forever. We're at 90 minutes into the show. So here's what we got to do. We got to talk about this stuff, and we will talk about this stuff in other future podcasts. So that's where I end the show. Hey, everybody, like, subscribe, and I mean that genuinely. Like and subscribe, and follow the show. Tell somebody about it, and rate us on iTunes if you get a free finger. Is that disturbing to say? Free finger. I just came with it. Yeah, Jack. Yeah, the middle finger. Jesus Christ, your fingers are huge.
I don't like bratwurst.
Well, you know what they say.
Your poor wife. We will catch you guys next week.